The message arrived at Earth Space Command at exactly midnight UTC. The blue-skinned messenger, wearing the formal robes of the Galactic Council, stood stiffly in front of Admiral James Thompson's desk. His three eyes blinked in sequence as he handed over the golden data crystal containing humanity's summons to an emergency council session. Thompson looked at the crystal in his hand, its surface catching the light from his office windows that overlooked the nighttime sprawl of New Geneva. 15 years had passed since humanity joined the galactic community, 15 years of being treated like children who had somehow stumbled upon their parents' hover car keys. The Council expects Earth's representatives to appear within 3 standard cycles, the messenger said, his universal translator giving his words a metallic edge. This is a matter of utmost importance. Without waiting for a response, he turned and left, his robes swishing against the polished floor. Thompson waited until the door closed before letting out a long breath. He placed the crystal into his secure reader and watched as the message projected into the air above his desk. The Council's formal script floated in glowing letters, but it was the tone that caught his attention. This wasn't the usual patronizing summons they received. There was an edge of concern, perhaps even fear, hidden beneath the diplomatic language. He reached for his comm unit and pressed the secure channel button. Get me the Defense Council. Priority 1. While he waited, Thompson walked to his window and looked up at the night sky. Among the stars, he knew dozens of alien ships would be moving through Earth's space, watching, always watching. They all thought they knew humanity's capabilities. They all thought they had humanity figured out. The Defense Council connected within minutes. 5 faces appeared on his screen, the heads of every major military branch and the Civilian Oversight Committee. Thompson held up the crystal before speaking. The Council knows something. They've called an emergency session. How much do they know? Asked General Roberts, her weathered face showing the first signs of worry. Impossible to tell from the summons, Thompson replied, but the messenger was nervous. I could see it in his posture. This isn't their usual bureaucratic posturing. Defense Minister Wilson leaned forward in his chair. We knew this day might come. The question is, do we maintain the facade, or is it time? Thompson sat back down at his desk, his fingers drumming once on its surface. They'd spent 15 years treating us like we're barely out of the Stone Age. Every time we've asked to join their defense committees, they've laughed. Every time we've offered military support, they've patronized us. They think our ships are toys compared to theirs. Through the secure channel, Thompson could hear the soft hum of the quantum encryptors ensuring their conversation remained private. The Council's technology might be advanced, but humanity had learned to keep its secrets well. The Nighthawk is ready, Admiral Rivera added, her hologram flickering slightly. Captain Wells reported successful completion of the final deep-sea trials yesterday. If we need to show our hand, Thompson nodded slowly. I'll attend the council session personally. If they know about the ship, we play it cool. If they're fishing for information, we let them fish. But we need to be ready. Have the Nighthawk on standby. If things go south, it's time the galaxy learns that humanity hasn't been sitting idle these past 15 years. The Defense Council members shared looks of agreement. They had planned for this, had known that eventually their technological advances would be discovered. The only question had been when, and how to handle the revelation. 3 standard cycles, Thompson said, standing again. That gives us 72 hours to prepare. I want all our diplomatic channels monitored. Let's see who's talking to whom. And most importantly, let's see who's scared of what they think they found. As the meeting ended and the holograms faded, Thompson returned to the window. Somewhere out there, beneath the Pacific Ocean's waves, humanity's greatest achievement waited in its underwater berth. The Council thought they knew everything about human military capability. They had cataloged every surface ship, tracked every space vessel, and dismissed them all as primitive. Thompson smiled slightly. In 3 days, the galaxy's oldest civilizations would learn a lesson about underestimating the young ones. In 3 days, they would learn that humanity had teeth and had simply been waiting for the right moment to bear them. The great chamber of the Galactic Council towered above Admiral Thompson as he stood at the center of the speaking floor. Thousands of alien representatives sat in rising tiers around him, their murmurs echoing off the crystal walls. The chamber had been designed to make speakers feel small, and Thompson had to admit it worked. The head speaker, a tall being with silvery skin that seemed to flow like mercury, raised all 4 arms for silence. "We have called this emergency session," the speaker's voice boomed through the universal translators, "to address a grave concern regarding Earth's activities." Thompson kept his face neutral, years of poker games serving him well. On the massive screens floating above, images began to appear. They were blurry, taken from long range, but unmistakable to someone who knew what to look for. The Nighthawk. "These images," continued the speaker, "were captured near the Orion Arm 3 cycles ago. A vessel of unknown design and extraordinary capabilities. The images change, showing energy readings, partial scan data. A vessel that by all measurements should be far beyond Earth's current technological level." Whispers spread through the chamber. Thompson could feel the mix of accusation and fear in the alien gazes fixed upon him. He waited, letting the tension build, remembering the day Project Nighthawk began. 10 years earlier, in an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, he had stood with a small group of Earth's best engineers and scientists. "We've been playing weak," he had told them then, letting them think we're struggling with their hand-me-down technology. "But now it's time to show them what humans can really do." The speaker's voice pulled him back to the present. "Our treaties clearly state that all new military vessels must be registered and inspected. Yet this ship appears in no registry. Its power signature exceeds anything Earth has previously displayed. We demand an explanation." Thompson stepped forward, his footsteps echoing in the now silent chamber. "Honorable Speaker, esteemed council members, I find these accusations interesting." He paused, looking up at the images, especially given how often this council has reminded us of our, what was the term? Charming but primitive technology. A representative from the Metallic Worlds Confederation stood up, their mechanical body whirring. "Do not play games, human Thompson. Our sensors detected gravitic drives of Class 7 capability. Your most advanced ships barely achieve Class 3. You have been developing military technology in secret." Thompson allowed himself a small smile. "The Council has spent 15 years treating humanity like children. You've denied us access to defense committees, dismissed our military capabilities, and rejected every offer of cooperation we've made." He turned slowly, addressing the entire chamber. "Did it never occur to you to ask why we accepted this treatment so quietly?" The images above changed again, showing the mysterious ship engaging its stealth systems, vanishing from sensors in ways that shouldn't have been possible with primitive human technology. The council chamber erupted in angry shouts and demands for explanation. "Order." The speaker's voice cut through the chaos. "Admiral Thompson, Earth signed treaties limiting military development. If you have violated these treaties, we signed treaties limiting the development of known technologies." Thompson interrupted. "Nothing in those treaties covered technologies we developed ourselves." More shouts filled the chamber. Thompson saw fear in many alien eyes now. Fear of the unknown. Fear of having underestimated humanity. He thought of the Nighthawk, waiting in the depths of Earth's oceans, of Captain Wells and her crew, ready for his signal. "This council has made many assumptions about humanity," Thompson said, his voice carrying over the din. "You assumed our quiet acceptance of your condescension meant weakness. You assumed our lack of complaint about technology restrictions meant inability to progress." He straightened his uniform. Perhaps it's time those assumptions were corrected. The speaker leaned forward, all 3 eyes fixed on Thompson. "Are you confirming that this vessel belongs to Earth?" Thompson reached for his communicator, remembering all the years of secret development, the countless hours of testing deep beneath the ocean's surface, the careful misdirection to keep the Council's eyes focused on their decoy programs. "Honorable Speaker," he said, his finger hovering over the communicator, "I believe a demonstration would be more convincing than any words I could offer." His finger pressed down, and far more memorable. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a hidden base carved into the seafloor, Captain Mary Wells stood on the bridge of humanity's greatest secret. The HMS Nighthawk hummed with power around her, its systems ready after 10 years of development and testing. The massive view screens showed only the dark waters of the deep ocean, but soon they would display the stars. Signal from Admiral Thompson received. First Officer Daniel Reed announced from his station. Authorization code confirmed. It's time. Wells took a deep breath, looking around at her hand-picked crew. Each person on the bridge had spent years preparing for this moment. They had trained in secret, lived in secret, and waited for the day when humanity would finally show its true capabilities to the galaxy. "Engineering reports all systems ready," called out Laura Cooper from her station. The chief engineer had been with the project since the beginning, combining human innovation with reversed engineered alien technology in ways no one thought possible. "Quantum drive is stable. Shield systems are green across the board." Wells pressed a button on her command chair, opening the ship-wide communication channel. "All hands, this is the captain. For 10 years, we've worked in silence. We've watched the galaxy mock our species, treat us like children playing with toys. Today, that changes." She paused, seeing the pride in her crew's faces. "Battle stations. Prepare for surface breach." The Nighthawk's engines powered up, their unique sound a testament to human ingenuity. Unlike the standard gravitic drives used by Council races, these engines combined principles from 5 different technologies. The ship began to move, its massive form rising from its underwater berth with a grace that belied its size. "Stealth systems engage," Reed reported. "We're completely dark to standard scans. The Council's monitoring satellites won't see us until we want them to." Through the view screens, Wells watched as layers of security doors opened above them. The ocean grew lighter as they ascended, water streaming past the advanced hull. The Nighthawk represented everything humanity had learned since joining the galactic community, but it was built on purely human principles. Where alien races specialized their technology, humans had combined and adapted. "Hull integrity at 100%, Cooper called out. "Pressure differential nominal. All systems performing exactly as designed." The ship carried weapons that no Council race had ever seen. Its shields operated on principles they had never considered. Even its basic structure violated several of their fundamental engineering assumptions. Wells smiled, remembering how many alien experts had insisted such combinations were impossible. "Surface breach in 30 seconds, Reed announced. "Time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do." Wells thought back to her first day on the project. She had stood in a briefing room, looking at designs that seemed impossible. "The Council races think they know what we can build," the project director had said. "They've given us their old technology, watched us copy it, and assumed that's all we can do. They forgot one thing. Humans don't just copy. We innovate." 10 seconds to surface. Reed's voice cut through her memories. "All departments report ready." The Nighthawk's bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their movements sure and confident. They had run this scenario hundreds of times in simulation. The only difference now was that the entire galaxy would be watching. 5 seconds. Wells gripped her command chair's arms. Above them, the Pacific Ocean grew bright with sunlight. 3, 2, 1. The Nighthawk broke the surface of the ocean like a leviathan rising from legend. Water cascaded off its stealth black hull, its true size becoming apparent as it rose higher. The ship was massive, yet moved with impossible grace. Its hull design ignored standard Council shipbuilding principles, following patterns that human engineers had developed through decades of aerospace research. "Ship is clear of the water," Reed reported. "All systems nominal. No detection from orbital satellites. Yet. Engage atmospheric drive systems," Wells ordered. "Take us up, Nice and slow. Let's give them a good look at what they've been missing. The Nighthawk rose into the sky, still invisible to standard scans. In the Galactic Council chamber, Admiral Thompson would be waiting for their arrival. Wells allowed herself a small smile as she imagined the chaos their appearance would cause. "Set course for Council space," she commanded. "It's time to rewrite the galaxy's understanding of humanity." The ship accelerated upward, breaking through clouds, its revolutionary engines barely making a sound. Above them, the stars waited, and among those stars, the galaxy's oldest civilizations were about to learn that they had severely underestimated Earth's youngest spacefaring species. The Council chamber's massive view screens suddenly flickered with warning signals. Hundreds of alien representatives leaned forward in their seats as proximity alarms began to sound throughout the station. Admiral Thompson stood calmly at the center of the speaking floor, watching the confusion spread across alien faces. "What is the meaning of this?" the head speaker demanded, silver skin rippling with agitation. "Our defense systems detect nothing, yet our proximity sensors." Thompson raised his hand, interrupting the speaker. "You asked for proof of Earth's capabilities. Look outside." The chamber's crystal walls turned transparent on command, offering a clear view of space around the station. At first, there was nothing to see but stars and the usual traffic of Council ships. Then, like a shadow taking form, the Nighthawk appeared. The ship simply materialized, its stealth systems deactivating in a carefully controlled sequence. First came the massive hull, black as space itself, spreading out longer than any human ship the Council had ever seen. Then came the soft blue glow of its engine systems, pulsing with power that made the Council's sensors scream in confusion. "By the first ones," whispered a representative from one of the oldest races. "That's impossible." The Nighthawk hung in space like a predator, its design unlike anything in the known galaxy. Where Council ships were smooth and standardized, the Nighthawk was angular and aggressive. Its hull bore patterns that seemed to swallow light, and its weapon systems were unlike any design the Council races had documented. "Impossible," Thompson smiled. "Humanity has spent 15 years listening to that word from the Council. You told us our ship designs were impossible. Our weapon concepts were impossible. Our shield theories were impossible." He gestured to the Nighthawk. "We took that as a challenge." The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted questions and demands. Some called for immediate military action. Others sat in stunned silence. The head speaker's attempts to restore order went unheeded as the Council faced the reality of how badly they had underestimated humanity. On the Nighthawk's bridge, Captain Wells watched the reaction through the ship's monitoring systems. "Signal from Admiral Thompson," Reed reported. "He requests a small demonstration." Wells nodded. "Let's show them what impossible looks like. Activate the shield systems." The Nighthawk's shields came to life, but not in the standard bubble configuration used by Council ships. Instead, geometric patterns of energy flowed across the hull in shifting layers. The design was based on human research into compound armor, adapted to energy shields in ways the Council had never considered. In the chamber, Thompson watched alien faces shift from shock to fear as their scans tried to make sense of the shield technology. "The Nighthawk represents 10 years of human innovation," he explained. "We took your basic technology as a starting point, yes. But then we did what humans have always done. We experimented, adapted, and improved." A military representative from one of the more aggressive Council races stood up. "This ship violates dozens of treaties. Its power readings are off our scales. Its weapon systems are unlike anything we've documented." "The treaties," Thompson reminded them, "specified that we couldn't develop certain known technologies beyond agreed-upon levels. We honored those treaties completely." His smile grew slightly. "We simply developed new technologies instead." The Nighthawk moved with impossible grace for its size, demonstrating maneuvers that Council ships couldn't match. Its engines left no traditional energy wake. Its shields absorbed all scanning attempts, and its very presence rewrote everything the Council thought they knew about human capabilities. "We didn't build this ship to start a war," Thompson said into the stunned silence. "We built it to ensure peace, to show that humanity deserves to be treated as equals, not as children playing with borrowed toys." The head speaker raised all four arms again, finally restoring some order to the chamber. "Admiral Thompson," they said, their voice carrying new respect and caution, "I believe the Council will need to reevaluate its position regarding Earth's status in the galactic community." Thompson looked up at the Nighthawk, visible through the crystal walls. The ship was a testament to human ingenuity, a symbol of their potential, but it was also a warning to those who would underestimate humanity. "That," he said quietly, "is exactly what we hope you would say." Captain Wells stood from her command chair as the Council's test fleet approached the Nighthawk. 12 of their most advanced warships moved into position, their weapons powered down but their scanning systems running at full capacity. The Council had requested a proper demonstration, and Wells intended to give them one they would never forget. "All ships are in position," Reed reported from his station. "They're scanning us with everything they have." He paused, checking his readings. "Their sensors still can't penetrate our outer hull." Wells opened a channel to the Council chamber, where Admiral Thompson waited. "Nighthawk to Council. We're ready to begin the demonstration. Please note that all weapons will be set to minimum power. We have no intention of damaging your ships." The head speaker's voice came through, tinged with both curiosity and concern. "Proceed with your demonstration, Earth vessel. Show us what you claim to have achieved." Wells nodded to her weapons officer. "Begin with Defense Pattern Alpha. Let's show them our shields first." The lead Council ship, a massive cruiser with crystalline armor, fired a low-power energy blast at the Nighthawk. Under normal circumstances, such an attack would require standard shield bubbles to absorb and dissipate the energy. Instead, the Nighthawk's layered geometric shields caught the blast and did something entirely unexpected. They redirected it, sending the energy harmlessly into space. "Impossible," came a shout through the communications channel. "Shields cannot redirect energy like that." "Human shields can," Wells replied calmly. "We studied how Earth's atmosphere handles energy from solar radiation. Then we applied those principles to shield technology. The result is a dynamic defense system that adapts to any form of attack." She gestured to Cooper at the engineering station. "Show them the full shield spectrum." The Nighthawk's shield patterns began to shift, displaying layers of protection that moved like flowing water. Each layer operated on different principles, some absorbing energy, others deflecting it, and some converting it into power for the ship's systems. "Now for maneuverability," Wells announced. "Please observe." The Nighthawk moved, not with the standard thrust patterns of Council ships, but with a grace that seemed to deny physics. The massive warship spun on its axis, accelerated, and changed direction in ways that should have torn it apart. The hybrid engine system, combining human rocket science with alien gravity technology, allowed for movements that the Council's best pilots could only dream of. "Our engineers studied birds of prey," Wells explained as the Nighthawk danced through space. "We wanted to know how they could be so large yet move so precisely. The answer was in understanding how to make different systems work together rather than relying on a single technology." In the Council chamber, the military representatives watched in stunned silence as the Nighthawk outmaneuvered ships half its size. The vessel's performance defied their understanding of ship design and movement. "And now," Wells said, her voice carrying pride, "we'll demonstrate our adaptive camouflage system." The Nighthawk's hull began to change. The patterns that seemed to swallow light shifted, transformed, and suddenly the massive ship was nearly invisible, not through traditional stealth technology, but through a system that actively adapted to any attempt to detect it. "We based this on Earth's octopus species," Wells explained. "They can change their skin patterns to match any background. We simply applied that principle on a larger scale, combining it with electronic countermeasures." The demonstration continued for another hour. The Nighthawk showed capabilities that rewrote the Council's understanding of what was possible in ship design. It absorbed energy weapons, redirected kinetic attacks, and moved in ways that violated traditional naval doctrine. Finally, Wells ordered the ship to hold position, its full power on display. This vessel represents what humanity can achieve when we combine our creativity with advanced technology. We didn't just copy your designs, we reimagined them. We saw possibilities where others saw limitations. The Council ships moved back to their escort positions, their crews silent with awe. In the Council chamber, the representatives began urgent discussions about the implications of what they had witnessed. Admiral Thompson's voice came through the command channel, carrying satisfaction. "Well done, Captain Wells. I believe you've made our point quite clearly." Wells looked out at the stars, at the Council ships, at the future that had just changed for humanity. "Yes, sir," she replied. "I believe we have." The Council chamber had turned into a storm of activity. Different species gathered in small groups, their voices mixing into a constant buzz of urgent discussion. Admiral Thompson watched from a quiet corner as 15 years of galactic politics transformed in a matter of hours. The Nighthawk floated visible through the crystal walls, a constant reminder of humanity's hidden strength. Every few minutes, another delegation would approach Thompson, their attitudes drastically different from just a day before. Gone were the condescending tones and dismissive gestures. Now they spoke with careful respect, even hints of fear. "The Trade Federation wishes to open immediate negotiations for technology sharing," a blue-skinned aide whispered to him. "They're offering access to their quantum manufacturing facilities." Thompson nodded politely but made no commitments. Similar offers had been arriving steadily since the demonstration. Everyone wanted to know how humans had developed such advanced technology in secret. More importantly, they wanted to know what else humanity might be hiding. The head speaker called for order, their silver skin reflecting the emergency lights that still flashed occasionally when the Nighthawk's energy signatures confused the station's sensors. "The Council will now hear proposals regarding Earth's status in the galactic community." A representative from the military alliance stood first. Their chitinous armor clicked as they spoke. "Earth has violated the spirit of our treaties. They have developed weapons and defense systems beyond approved levels. We demand containment measures." Shouts of agreement mixed with calls of protest. Thompson noted which species supported the call for containment. Mostly older races who had long dominated galactic military power. Their fear was understandable. Humanity had just proved itself far more capable than they had imagined. "The treaties," Thompson said, his voice cutting through the noise, "specified restrictions on known technologies. Everything on the Nighthawk was developed through human innovation. We combined existing principles in new ways. That was never prohibited." The Science Collective's representative, a tall being of pure energy contained in a mechanical shell, moved to the speaking floor. "This is an opportunity, not a threat. Humanity has shown incredible creativity in technological development. Their way of combining different scientific principles. It's unprecedented. We propose an immediate exchange program." More delegations began offering proposals. Some wanted military alliances, others sought trade deals. A few suggested that humanity should be given a permanent seat on the Council's Defense Committee, the same committee that had rejected Earth's application 15 times before. Captain Wells' voice came through Thompson's private communicator. "Admiral, we're picking up increased military traffic in nearby sectors. Several Council races have ordered their fleets to high alert." "Let them come," Thompson replied quietly. "The Nighthawk is just the beginning of what we can do, and they know it." The head speaker raised all four arms for silence. "We face an unprecedented situation. Earth has demonstrated technological capabilities far beyond what we believed possible for their development level. This changes the balance of power significantly." Thompson stepped forward. "Earth doesn't seek to dominate or threaten. We only wanted respect, recognition that humanity could contribute as equals to this galactic community. The Nighthawk wasn't built for war. It was built to ensure peace. A sensation like static electricity filled the chamber as the Council's most ancient member, a being of pure thought and energy, materialized in the center of the room. This entity had not spoken in a council session for over 300 years. We have grown complacent. The ancient being's thoughts echoed in everyone's minds. We assumed that our way was the only way. Humanity has proved us wrong. They took our basic principles and transformed them through creativity and innovation. Perhaps it is we who should learn from them. The chamber fell silent. When the oldest member of the council spoke, even the most aggressive races listened. Thompson watched as the political landscape shifted again, alliances and threats and opportunities taking new shapes around humanity's revealed capabilities. Earth accepts the Council's invitation to join the Defense Committee, Thompson said into the silence. We also propose the creation of a new committee, one focused on innovative technological development. It's time for all our species to stop limiting ourselves to what we think is possible. As the Council erupted in another round of debate, Thompson looked up at the Nighthawk. The ship had changed everything. But its greatest achievement wasn't in its advanced technology or impressive capabilities. Its greatest achievement was in forcing the galaxy's oldest civilizations to remember that they still had much to learn. 1 month after the Nighthawk's revelation, Earth's orbital space had transformed. Where once only basic human stations and small trading vessels moved through the darkness, now ships from across the galaxy gathered to witness humanity's emergence as a major power. Admiral Thompson stood in the observation deck of Earth's new joint research facility, watching as vessels from 20 different species docked at the recently constructed space station. Below him, the Nighthawk patrolled with quiet confidence, no longer hiding its capabilities from the galaxy's watchful eyes. The Arcturian delegation has arrived for the technology exchange, Captain Wells reported, joining him at the window. She had become something of a celebrity among council races, the human who had commanded the ship that changed everything. They're particularly interested in our shield geometry principles. Thompson nodded, remembering how quickly things had changed. And what are they offering in exchange? Access to their quantum computing facilities. Wells smiled. Though I suspect our AI integration systems might be more advanced than theirs already. The council races never thought to combine artificial intelligence with human intuition the way we did. Through the vast windows, they watched as another ship emerged from Earth's atmosphere. This one was new, its hull showing the same predatory angles as the Nighthawk, but with obvious differences. The HMS Peregrine represented the next step in human ship design, built openly this time, incorporating suggestions from their new alien allies, while maintaining humanity's innovative approach. 6 new joint research projects approved this morning, Thompson said, checking his datapad. Everything from weapons development to medical technology. Amazing how quickly they went from dismissing our ideas to wanting to learn our methods. The observation deck's door slid open as Laura Cooper, now head of the Joint Technology Development Program, entered with a group of alien engineers. The beings from different species all carried data pads, eagerly discussing the principles behind human hybrid technology. It's not just about the technology, Cooper was explaining. It's about the approach. Humans don't just ask if something will work. We ask why it works, and then we ask if it could work better if combined with something else. Thompson turned away from the window as Earth's new defense minister arrived. The political landscape had shifted dramatically since the Nighthawk's demonstration. Earth now held seats on 3 major council committees, and their representatives were treated with newfound respect. The military alliance is still nervous, the minister reported, joining Thompson and Wells. They've doubled their patrol fleets in nearby sectors. But they're also sending their best ship designers to learn from us. Funny how that works. Outside, a flash of light announced the arrival of a council diplomatic vessel through the new quantum gate, another piece of technology the humans had helped improve. The original design had been efficient, but human engineers had found ways to make it more stable and use less power. We're scheduling joint military exercises with the Defensive Pact next month, Wells said, checking her own reports. They want to see how their ships can adapt our maneuvering techniques. We're also getting requests from 17 species for officer exchange programs. Thompson remembered the years of being dismissed and underestimated. The countless times council representatives had patted humans on the head and told them to be patient, to wait until they were ready for advanced technology. Now those same representatives were scrambling to understand how humans had taken basic principles and transformed them into something new. The Ancient One was right, he said quietly. They had grown complacent. They forgot that there's always more to learn, always new ways to look at old problems. The Nighthawk completed another patrol circuit, its presence a constant reminder of humanity's capability for innovation. But it was no longer alone. Other ships now incorporated human design principles, creating a new era of technological development that benefited all species. The Council has approved the new Innovation Committee, the minister announced. They want you to chair it, Admiral. Apparently, they believe humanity has something to teach them about thinking outside traditional boundaries. Thompson watched as more ships arrived. More delegations came to learn. More opportunities opened up. The galaxy had changed because humanity had refused to accept limitations. They had taken the basic tools given to them and rebuilt them into something revolutionary. What's next? Wells asked, looking out at the busy space around Earth. Thompson smiled. Next, we show them that the Nighthawk was just the beginning. Humanity hasn't just arrived on the galactic stage. We're going to help write the next act. In the space above Earth, ships of all species move together, their designs already starting to show human influence. The age of dismissing humanity as primitive newcomers was over. A new era had begun, one where innovation and creativity would lead the way forward, and humanity would help guide the galaxy into an unexpected but promising future.